Okay, this is video number 4 of Manasseh's Guide to TMSCA. And today I told you we'll do multiplying matrices. So now that we're doing multiplying matrices, it's going to be pretty simple. There's two types. There's scalar multiplication and there's matrix multiplication. Okay, so scalar multiplication is the easy one, where you can just take a regular number, which is called a scalar, and multiply it on every entry of the matrix. Now you may be thinking that I'm speaking a foreign language, but no. So let's do this. Okay, so let's say there's something called matrix A. Okay, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And now the question asks, what is 2A? So now, if we want to find 2A, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 2A. So we're going to do 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically scalar multiplication tells us to multiply each one of these values. It's kind of like distribution, you know? So then we do, let me move these a bit over. Okay. 2 times 1, then we do 2 times 2, then we do 2 times 3, and then we do 2 times 4. Okay. So now all we gotta do here now is solve it. So let's do that in a different color. So let's first solve the first element, which is 2 times 1 is 2. Then the second one, 4. Then let's move on to the second row. First element, 2 times 3, 6. For second element of the second row, 2 times 4, 8. And that is our answer. So now that was the easy one. Feel free to pause the video and relearn it if I went too fast. But for right now, we are going to do a different way. And this one is called matrix multiplication. And basically matrix multiplication is let me explain this. Matrix multiplication is basically matrix times another matrix. So let's say this is one matrix right here. Let's do 1, 0, negative 2, 0, 3, and negative 1. That's one matrix. Now we gotta find another matrix. So let's do multiplication sign. Then let's do 1, 3, 0, 2, 0, 1. So now we're gonna multiply these two. And basically, you always have to remember that when you multiply a matrix, you multiply a row times column. So what I mean by that is, you gotta multiply the first element, which is this one, by the first element here, and the second element with the second element here, and the third element with the third element that's supposed to be here. But since there's nothing here, we remember from the first lesson or the second one that we call this undefined. Now in order to solve a matrix or matrix multiplication, what we gotta do is, let's just rewrite the first one. So let me just write a different one. Let's rewrite the first one actually. 1, 0, negative 2, 0, 3, negative 1. And then we gotta multiply that by, let's make a bit of multiplication sign. 0, 3, negative 2, negative 1, and 0, as well as 4. And basically, like I said before, we just do row times column. So in order to do row times column, remember we can list our elements. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. And remember we're doing row multiplied by column. So it's basically RC if you want to remember that. And then this is element 1, this is element 2, 3. Okay? So let's start. So basically all we gotta do is 1 times 0 plus 0 times negative 2 plus negative 2 times 0. Now you may be wondering, what the heck am I doing? Basically what I'm doing is I'm multiplying the first element by the first element here, then adding it to the second element times the second element, and then adding that to this third element times the third element. And basically all this stuff is just equal to 0. And you put the 0 right there. Now solve the second part. Second part is, well, the second part is obviously. So we keep this part right here, and then we do the first element here, second element there, and the third element there. So then we do 1 times 3 plus 0 times negative 1 plus negative 2 times 4. And then we add that together and we get 3 plus 0 plus negative 8, which is negative 5. And now that I got those two, you may guess what's going on after this. We basically just do the next row. I'm going to zoom this out a bit so I can write more. And so now we're going to start with this row right here. Let me rewrite that. Let me rewrite the matrix up here. Alright, so now we're focusing on this one right here. Then we're going to multiply it the same way we did. So we're going to multiply this one first, and then we're going to multiply this one next. So then let me write the other one as well. 0, negative 2, 0, 3, negative 1, 4. So we're basically just multiplying these two together, right? So let's just draw the matrix around it. Okay, and then we're starting with the second one right here. So then let's do what? 0 times 0 plus 3 times negative 2 plus negative 1 times 0. And that equals to 0 times 0 is 0. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Plus 0 is negative 6. So we put negative 6 right there. Then let's do the same thing with the other one. 0 times 3 plus 3 times negative 1 plus 4 times negative 1. And 0 times 3 is 0. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So negative 3 plus negative 4 plus 0 is negative 7. And that's how you multiply matrices. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.